What's going on, everybody? It's Willoughby's and welcome back to the Lore Chronicles. This video is all about how I won my set championship. Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to take first place at my first Disney Lorcana Reign of Jafar set championship. So the first day of set champs, I took home first place. Pretty cool to say. But really, this is just a video where I talk all about, keeping your mental right, what it meant for me to win, and how I think I have evolved as a player, not just in my gameplay, but really in my mentality. And I think that is the key to my successes here in set championship and how I took home this Jafar. This video is truly just a discussion, not really particular tips or tricks or anything like that. But if you're someone like me where Lorcana is your first ever trading card game and you've been working really hard at getting better and sometimes still doubt yourself, get insecure or similar, this video is for you. I totally understand how you're feeling, and I talk a little bit about how I overcome that, or really just like realizing that I have overcome that. In any case, hope you guys enjoy the discussion. Let me know if you want to do more solo videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, so I think I just want to talk about, winning my set championship and what this means to me as a new player in TCGs. Obviously, Dick is not here because I just kind of wanted to do this with myself and with you guys. And I know there's some of you guys out there who are more like Dick, who, relate to having years of experience and totally understanding everything. But I think this video is for the people like me who, who aren't as tenured in the game, we will say. People who haven't been around as long. And if it's also your first TCG, I'm sure you're going to be able to relate to a lot of the things that I want to talk about here. But I think for me, basically, what I want this video to be is just like talking about what it means for me to have won this set championship and to have won this first place mat. So for those of you that are kind of like confused because they're like, really, you just want to talk a little bit about winning, like that's a little self-centered. I don't think of it that way. I think of it as like I set myself a goal and I achieved it, and I want to reflect on what that means because I think I learned a lot. Especially like doing some reflecting after winning my first set championship. I realized that I've changed a ton as a player, and I want to talk to anybody who has also similar goals to win a set championship or be a competitive Lorcana player, even if they are new to the game, and kind of talk about some of the things that I think have helped make me better and can hopefully help make you better as well. And I'm not even talking better at the game. I'm talking better mental. So yeah, let's just get into it. I think how I want to start this conversation is just sharing that a couple months back, before we really knew what season 2 of competitive Lorcana was going to look like, someone asked me, what are your goals for whenever we know what season 2 is going to be? What are you hoping to achieve? And I said two things. One of them I felt was pretty obtainable, or hopefully would be obtainable, and the second one was a little bit farther off. So the first thing that I said was I would like to actually win, like get first place, because I've only ever gotten second. I actually want to actually win a set championship, and the second one was to day 2 a DLC. Obviously that might be a little bit harder now because there's less of them and the cap is a lot shorter, with only being top 32. So maybe we'll have to finagle that goal a little bit and also count some third-party events. But let's just focus in on that first goal, right? Winning a set championship. I, of course, thought it would be obtainable. There are set championships where only 8 players show up, and so you only have to really be, quote-unquote, better than, 7 other people that day. So I knew that hopefully I would be able to kind of finesse it. But it was always something like that, where I thought that if I was going to win a set championship, it was going to be something where there was a low player count and, maybe I just get lucky. But in this case, I know it's not like 64 players, 128 players, or even 30 players, but it was a 29 player set champ. So it was really, really close to being 30 people. And I think for me, that's like a good amount of people to feel proud of. And really just like getting the first place mat overall, the amount of people that were there really shouldn't matter. But I know to some people it does. So that's why I'm acknowledging that. But yeah, so when I won this first place mat, I kind of just like was driving home and realizing I did it. I achieved one of my goals that, even though I was hopeful I would be able to achieve, in reality, I didn't really believe in myself. I was telling someone when I was talking to them about how I won, I was like, I never really thought I was the kind of player that takes first place. Like, mentally, I just don't see myself as a winner in this game. I see myself as somebody who can make it to top 8, make it to top 4 if they're lucky, and usually get beat at that point because I'm facing one of the better players in the room. I always thought that I was good enough to, top events. Maybe I'm good enough than, let's say, quote unquote, a majority of the field. But I would never actually be good enough to compete at that more competitive caliber like you see when you get to those top cuts, right? I'm somebody who is always, voting to split, and I'm never wanting to play it out. I'm not confident enough to feel like I can, make that finalist prizing or even make that first place prizing. And I think on the drive home, thinking about like having all of that adrenaline running through me of being like, wow, I did it, I won. I think I finally started to realize, like, seeing myself as somebody that can't win, that can only top or only top 8, but can't ever get first, was really holding me back in a lot of my matches and games, not just, at this set championship, but anytime I've ever competed, DLC or not. I realized that, like, it was the mental is like not even 50% of the battle. It's honestly like 60, 70, even 80% of the battle of when you're, playing cards, because it's really like, what you actually draw and do and all of that doesn't even matter. It's like, do you have the confidence to like keep your head clear, navigate through maybe the cards that you draw in order to win that out. And I really think keeping a clear head is like such a big part of being able to win. It sounds like silly and cheesy, and I know people joke about like the Ed shoe stare, and people are kind of making jobs not done into a meme. But I think Ed is actually really, really on to something there, where when you are like truly just dialed in, you're not letting your ego, get the best of you or even the worst of you, you can really like shine, and you kind of hit this flow state where what you draw, and what cards and what your opponent's playing, it's not so much this good or bad, it's just what's happening in front of you and how can you navigate through it. I don't know if I'm making this way more like philosophical or whatever than it needs to be. At the end of the day, I get it, it's just cards, just play the game. But for those of you that get what I'm saying, I think for me, what I'm trying to say is like, I really achieved a flow state, I think, for the first time in my Lorcana career. I used to be somebody where I would sit across from somebody, even at locals, and it would be like these guys that I would see make top 8 every single week, and I did not know what I was doing. And I would just automatically assume like, okay, well, there's no chance I can win this one. And there's times where I remember one of my friends, I'm sure he remembers this, one of the first few times I played him, every time I would pair into him, I would just stick my hand out and be like, well, GG, man, let's have a good one, but you got it. Because I just knew like that he was going to beat me, or rather I just convinced myself that there was no way that I could beat him. And I think this set championship, I can say confidently, is the first time I never felt like this person is obviously going to beat me. I have no shot. Even when my board states were bad, or even when I would drop a game, whether it was game 1 or game 2, whether it was my die roll and I was going to be on the draw, like all day was the first time no part of my, like, I guess, insecurity like was affecting me. It was almost like it was not even there for the first time. And that really, I think, is what allowed me to like truly play my best. And I've never felt that way before. So looking back, it feels like, sure, I've got the play mat. I can say that I've won a set championship and I've gotten first place. But I think really for me, the biggest win was, I feel like I really got over this like mental block that I've had as a Lorcana player for so long. I would go to events like CCS, DLCs, even set championships, and just feel so much fear feel so much fear, like if I don't win this, I'm bad. If I, am sitting across from this person, oh, I recognize them, I know they're talented, there's no way I can win this. Like, so much fear, so much insecurity and anxiety have been holding me back from truly just like trusting myself and playing my best. And I think something else I want to say kind of like about my mental clarity, I think during this event that really helped, I didn't even realize it until afterwards, like I said, when I was reflecting on the drive home. But like, there was never a point during the day where any of my games felt hard or difficult. And I don't say that to say I blew every single one of my opponents out of the water. What I mean is, every single time I would draw a card, complicated board state, whether I'm winning or losing, super behind on lore or super ahead, like, basically what I'm trying to say is, like, whether I was at 19 lore and my opponent was at 0 and I quote unquote, or with a pirate's life in hand, I knew all they had to say was pass turn and I had the win, or my opponent was at 19 lore, I'm at 0, I have no B prep, maybe I have one card in hand and it's a typo, like, both of those game states, one of those I'm guaranteed to win, one of those I'm guaranteed to lose. I felt the exact same way playing both of those games. And that, I think, is like one of the biggest things that I took away from this, is like, the day wasn't hard, not because I never lost, because I did. I dropped one game, and actually those games were pretty hard, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the whole day wasn't hard just because I wasn't doubting myself. And everything I would draw, I would just be like, okay, this is just the information as it is. I don't know. Like I said, I've never done a solo YouTube video before for Lorcana stuff, so maybe I truly am just rambling. But I guess if I want to, kind of compartmentalize this and kind of go through some step-by-step pieces of advice, for anybody that's like me, that, is new to Lorcana and maybe has like insecurities, doubts, anxiety holding them back, or if you still get that feeling when you sit down from a player at your local that is like always the guy who gets first, and you're still feeling like, there's no way I could beat them. Like, I just want to say the very, very, very first thing is your mental when it comes to winning these games or winning a set championship. And it sounds crazy. You're like, how could it be my mentality? Obviously it's in the cards. Obviously it's in the deck choice. Obviously it's in that. But honestly, it's really not. I picked up Ruby Sapphire Thursday. I played in this set championship Saturday. I didn't play any, I didn't practice any games online. I didn't practice any games in person with Ruby Sapphire. I sleeved it up and went to locals on Thursday to see if I wanted to play it. I didn't even top 8 that locals. Okay. So like, there was nothing that was like telling me like, oh my God, I'm going to blow it out of the water this weekend. I just felt like, I don't know, I'm going to play this. I feel like I understand the deck. I really like the deck list. Understand looking at the deck conceptually, what it's trying to do. It's like, I think this deck's successful. I'll just try it. Right. I show up on Saturday and I played it. And like, that's to say that like, that's where deck doesn't matter. Cause I truly believe I could have done the same thing playing, Amber Steel, which I ran traditional Amber Steel, which I ran in CCS. So like, I have a ton of practice on that. That's the deck I arguably quote unquote should have played, even Blurple, right? There was two Blurples in the top 8 of this event. I also could have played Blurple, the deck that I knew super well, had been practicing against Amber Steel aggro over and over again. Like those decks I could have taken to this and done well, just as well, so that's where I'm saying deck choice doesn't matter. I just picked this deck up 2 days before I ran it through the event and won the whole thing. What truly matters is that confidence, is that like mental state, knowing, what, I can win this. And so if you're somebody that like struggles with that, it's not easy. It's 100% easier said than done. But I encourage you to truly try and enhance that mental state of yours. Something that I think could help if you're like, I want to fix my mental, but I truly don't know how, is honestly, I guess it sounds weird to say because like we truly care about these games, but like de-investing some of the stakes. So almost like caring less. And what I mean by that is like, obviously you should care. We all, play the game and we, we love it, and so of course you're gonna care. I cared all day. But what I'm saying is, like, if I lose this game, if I don't top this set championship, I am a loser. I am bad at the game. I have no shot of winning ever again. You know what I mean? Like, those kinds of things. Take those stakes out of it. Don't make it, if I don't top this set championship, I am not a good player. If you take those stakes out of it, that's where I think you can kind of help clear up your head. And I've talked about this before in our other set championship video, but like, when you truly, like, when you stop playing from a place of necessity, that is when you play your best. And that is just what I've been realizing. I've had a lot of things going on in my personal Lorcana sphere lately, good things and bad things, things that have made me feel great and things that have made me feel down, ebbs and flows, of course, as always, those are natural. But I think because of all of those ebbs and flows, and because of some of those like things that have been going on, I've been like, you know what, I need to get back to like the point of Lorcana, which is just to have fun and play a game that I love. I need to get away from all of this, like, what if I'm not good enough? And I need to have this sort of, accolades in order to be worthy of casting events, or doing this or doing that. Why should anybody listen to me if I don't have any accolades? Blah, 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 blah. I needed to just let all of that go. It had just been getting to me so much. And I was just like, you know what? I love this game. It's given me something so fun and so beautiful in the past, like, 2 years that I've been playing it, or however long this game has been around now. I'm just gonna like go to set champs and have fun and do my best. And that's what I did. I like let all of that stuff go, and I just had fun. And in the finals, like, there was no, second place playmat, because the last time I made it to a final, I did get second. And so, like, I at least knew I was getting something. There, it was like kind of like all or nothing. It was like I stayed here for 3 more hours for nothing, or I get a playmat, I was playing against a friend, Sean Strenuous, on Twitter, and we had met recently at CCS. He's a good friend of my teammate, Justin, the Diz dude. So I was playing against him, and like all day we had been, chatting it up in between rounds, being like, oh man, hope you, take that guy down. I don't want to face him, or like, oh man, you got this against this person, whatever it is, and so to be sitting across from him in the finals with my TO next to me, who was also judging, who I knew from my locals, like, it was just a really good environment. It was the first time, like, even though Sean is an amazing player, and like, he recently, I think he said he took like 14th or something at CCS, like, so he just had a really great showing out there. I still didn't feel like I'm out, and that's normally a situation where, like, I would totally feel like, oh, he's gonna kick my butt, there's no way I could beat this guy. And so again, just that good sign of like, wow, my mental has really improved in this game lately, and just like putting all that stuff behind me and just focusing on doing the thing I love, which is playing Lorcana and having a good time, was really, really, really paying off. So, and it was wonderful. I said this on Twitter in my response to him, because he was like, GG's, it was the most fun I've ever had playing a finals, but also just like playing in a top cut, because we were just truly joking, the whole time, and we had smiles on our faces the whole time. And I could see it on his face. He was happy for me, when I won. And he told me too, before we started playing, he was like, I'm not going to give it to you. You got to earn it. And I'm really glad that he played his best, because it feels so much better for me knowing that I did earn it. Sean is somebody that has, many duplicates of many play mats of champ mats, over the set champs times that he's played. And so it really was, like, technically speaking, if you look at our records, he was fated, to win. He should have won it, in terms of, everybody would bet on him, right? If you were going to pick somebody to bet on, you would bet on Sean. But even so, I didn't let that get to me. I played my best, and, I came out the champion for it. Sorry if this is getting annoying. It's just a really pretty mat. And Aladdin's my favorite Disney movie, so go figure. But I don't know. I guess I'll wrap up, the Yap Fest. But I think that we have a really supportive community here at the Lore Chronicles, and I haven't talked too much to you guys directly. A lot of you guys know Dick a lot better than you know me, and so I just wanted to come on here and do something to kind of just hopefully let you guys hear my voice a little bit more, let you guys hear just exactly what it meant to me to win something like this. And yeah, I think biggest takeaways were my mental has really cleared. And if you're somebody who is also looking to win your set championship and you're new to the game and you're worried you can't do it, you truly, truly, truly can. There are, you know, game related things you can do to win as well, which is, you know, practice, practice, practice. I didn't go in completely blind. I did take it to a local, you know, and play test and things like that. But at the end of the day, I really do think that it's the mental. Last thing I want to say is just I'm so grateful to Lorcana for the community that it has brought me. On my set championships there, I drew into top 8 with a guy that I had met at a 1K. I kicked his butt and then he kicked my butt right back, and he kicked my butt when it mattered because he kicked my butt in top 8, so he got more money than me. It was a 1K. But like I saw him again, and Sean and Missy Enchanted were also there. Shout out to them. We're busy. They had already eaten, so I was like, you know what? Let's go eat. And you know, I went with this guy who I haven't seen in months, and honestly we really don't know each other that well. We only know each other through playing Lorcana, but we got lunch together, and when we were in there I saw my first round opponent and he bought all of us lunch. And you know, it's like, it's the little things like that that like really show just how amazing this community is and how it really brings people together. And you know, I drove an hour away from my home to be at this store. You know, I'm alone really. I didn't know who was gonna be there. I didn't know if I was gonna see people I knew. I was lucky to run into some friends, but it's hard to be vulnerable, to put yourself out there, you know, to go to events by yourself when you don't know anyone, to drive out of town to a set championship, you know, and go by yourself. But I really, really encourage you to do it. This community is amazing. Everybody has always been so kind that I've met. I met a ton of new people. Like I said, my first round opponent called me a noob to start and then bought me lunch. I promise I'm not upset about it. I just thought it was so funny. You know what I mean? So like, and we had some really great conversations during that little hour lunch break. And really just this community is amazing, and I'm so grateful for everything that Lorcana has brought me. And it's, I think in a weird way, you know, even something like playing a trading card game has made me a better person, and it really has. So I guess I'll stop. I'm getting too yappy and I'm getting too sappy over something that to some people is really just very little, but to me meant so much. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Please let me know, is your mental something that you struggle with in this game? You know, how have you overcome it? What successes have you seen lately? You know, is your goal to top a set championship? Is your goal, you know, to top a DLC? I want to know. But more than anything, I can't thank you guys enough for all of the support on the channel. I've always wanted to make content, and I've never felt like I had something that I truly cared enough about to make content for until Lorcana came into my life. So truly, you guys means support means the world, and we couldn't do it without you. Anyways, I'm stopping. Everybody cut me off. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. Leave me a comment what you think. Also, videos without Dick, should we do more of these? I mean, he's great, but do we mind just the Willow yap sessions? All right, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys in the next one. Peace.